Hello everyone. Today we are unpacking an electron microscope from Andonstar. A microscope of branded cardboard packaging arrives. When opening, we are immediately greeted with instructions for assembly, configuration and use. The instructions we have are in Chinese and English. Unfortunately, the Russians did not give us a lift. There is nothing complicated here, everything is drawn in pictures, it's easier to assemble it. Next, we are greeted by the microscope itself with a large 7-inch display. On the back we see a battery compartment 18650, that is, the microscope can work autonomously without battery power. In the foamed material we have a set with screws and a hexagon for assembly and also the mounting bracket itself. Everything is made of metal, most likely it is some kind of alloy like aluminum. At the bottom of the box, we are greeted by a control panel with micro USB connectors to power our device. At the bottom we have a large metal plate stand. The metal here is thick, the plate itself is heavy, most likely made of iron or steel. Also, on the plate itself, we already initially have two flexible backlight flashlights. Well, let's start assembling the device itself. In the bag there are two small screws for attaching the tripod to the base. We have screws for the internal hexagon, which is also included. On the reverse side, we carefully thread the screws in the tripod itself. The thread is cut, the main thing is to get into the hole, then the screws are well tightened on the tripod. Next, we assemble the clamps. It is not very easy to assemble. A long bolt is inserted from above, the spring is put on and the whole thing is screwed into the plate itself. There are already screws for a Phillips screwdriver. The paws themselves, due to the spring, have great mobility. Spring-loaded, it is convenient to clamp some small boards, when working with small boards, so that they do not run away, do not drive, these paws will be irreplaceable. Our microscope is inserted into the ring from above and clamped with two screws on the sides. That's the whole assembly, it remains only to connect the remote control. In the bottom of the frame itself, we have a connector for an old thick Nokia, and a micro USB is inserted into the microscope from above. Also here we have a slot for a micro SD card and a reset button, if something went wrong, the reset button. Turn on our microscope. From the remote control, we can adjust the brightness, and the brightness of the flexible side lights is adjusted. On the microscope itself, there is a separate twister in front to adjust the brightness of the microscope itself, the illumination of the microscope. When the remote control is connected, the button on the front does not work, that is, the device itself turns on from the remote. If you connect it with a regular USB cord, you can turn it on from the button that is located on the microscope itself. Take the board from the phone, clamp it in the paws, and you can adjust our image microscope. We see that the picture is clear, everything is clearly visible, no cubes, nothing floats, while if you remove the side illumination, the juiciness of the picture drops, but at the same time we see that the microscope itself is trying to adjust the brightness and contrast. With the backlight, everything is much better visible. The microscope also has a digital zoom. The up and down keys, which are located in the center, control our digital zoom. Without an SD card, the microscope will not allow us to enter the menu or take a photo. We can also lower our microscope down almost to the stop, adjust the focus, and in this position we get the maximum magnification. Again, you can use digital zoom. I inserted the SD card, and when the OK button is pressed, we see that the recording icon starts to light up, the red dot blinks, the microscope writes full HD resolution, and you can take photos while recording the video. Next, I will show the recording of the microscope itself and also a couple of photos. With an SD card, we can also view files that were recorded earlier, but when I tried to turn on the recorded video, the microscope itself turned off. Most likely this is due to the fact that I picked up a low-power power supply, it did not have enough power, the voltage sank and it passed out. It is also possible to have used a bad SD card, a cheap Chinese one. Everything is reproduced well on the computer. This microscope consumes quite a lot of energy, so it is better to use a power supply that gives at least 3 amperes to power it. This is already a record of the microscope itself, what it wrote to the SD card. Here I will try to solder, show the quality of the picture. We see that everything is perfectly visible, the image does not glare, does not float. Also, it would not be superfluous for the Chinese to put a good power supply in the kit, because in this case there was only a low-power one at hand, giving out about 1.5 to 2 amperes, this is not enough for him. We also look at other components on the board. We see that the marking on the chips is well readable, numbers, letters are clearly visible. You can consider labeling certain chips. And these are 2 photos taken with the microscope itself during recording. I recommend this device to everyone. Thanks for watching, bye.